Hey guys, it's Dale with the insurance again, with our quirky question of the week. This week, and we've all been in this position, this week we're going to talk about um, do you actually purchase the third party insurance that's offered when you rent a vehicle, whether you're in the US or outside of the US on vacation, or maybe even if you go to Home Depot or Costco and rent kind of a larger vehicle to transport items from one place to the next, you get offered this third party insurance. Typically, well, if you're me, typically you really quickly think about, hey, do I need this extra cost? It's only 10 miles, or I'm only here for a day. Do I take it? Do I not take it? This is kind of a quick answer to that question. So let's break it down into two parts. If you're outside of the US, there's a 90+% chance your insurance is not going to cover it. So at that point, the only true backup you have before you're liable is your credit card. Now, if you paid for that rental car or that rental truck or whatnot while you're outside of the U.S. with Visa, MasterCard, all of the major cards have this insurance. There's a very good chance they do cover it. Typically, that's secondary coverage. They would want something primary in front of that. But either way, there is a chance that you do have coverage. Before making that decision, I would call your specific credit card company just to make sure that that's in place. So when you're outside of the U.S., you at least have some coverage. When you're in the U.S., it depends on the type of coverage you have on your policy. So as we all know, if you have comprehensive and collision, that typically follows the car. If you have liability insurance, that typically follows the person. So now if you have liability insurance and you go and you rent a car and God forbid you get into an accident, then and you're found liable, then 90+% chance that your insurance will cover it. Now, if you don't have comprehensive and collision on your current coverage, then by all means, it's not going to be covered when you rent a car. However, because comprehensive and collision typically follows the car, there's still a good chance that your insurance company will not cover it even when it's a rental vehicle. So make sure, if you're relying on your insurance to cover you, make sure you clear that coverage with your insurance company. And once again, your credit card, if you paid for the rental car, the rental vehicle, with the credit card that you want to cover any accidents, there's a high likelihood that that coverage is included with your credit card. Make sure of that as well. So what I'd say for the bottom line, if pricing is not an issue, it's always best to simply go with the third party coverage. Not only do you save peace of mind, but you save time in trying to figure out who's primary, who's secondary, who's even tertiary or third to cover a potential accident. You also don't have to worry about the ramifications from the accident in terms of how it might affect your personal insurance rate if something were to happen. So if pricing is not an issue, it's a 20-minute ride to drop off a piece of equipment, or you're on vacation for a few days and renting a car, not a large expense. Go ahead and opt for that third-party coverage. If it's longer than that, if it's 2 weeks of renting a vehicle, 3 weeks of renting a vehicle, that expense starts to add up and really mean true savings, I would then do the research to find out and call, more than likely either your insurance company or your credit card definitely will be able to provide coverage. The question then is just finding out if it's adequate. So first line of defense, if pricing isn't an issue, go with the third party. If pricing is an issue, cost is an issue, do your research, find out if your credit card or your current auto policy can provide coverage for you. And as always, we'll be here next week with another quirky question. Please send all questions to questions@einsure.com or submit them through our social media page, Facebook, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you. Bye.